If there's one philosophy that should anchor your modern security strategy, it's zero trust. This isn't a tool or a single product. It's a mindset. As a leader, you're no longer protecting a network perimeter. You're protecting access to data, apps, and services, wherever they live, and from whoever is trying to reach them. In this session, you'll learn the foundational principles of zero trust, explore how zero trust network access enables secure, flexible connectivity, and understand the growing concept of variable trust as the world moves toward more contextual, adaptive security. At the core of zero trust is a mindset you need to adopt and lead with. Never trust, always verify. It's not about putting up walls and assuming everything inside is safe. It's about treating every access request as untrusted until proven otherwise. Whether that request comes from a user, a device, or an application, your job is to ensure it's explicitly authenticated, properly authorized, and continuously validated, every single time. You implement zero trust by leading with three fundamental principles. First, you verify explicitly. That means you don't make decisions based on just a username and password. You evaluate user identity, device posture, location, behavior, and other contextual signals. Second, you apply least privilege access. You give people only the access they need and only for as long as they need it. No more, no less. Finally, you assume breach. You design your systems and workflows as if an attacker is already inside. That means segmenting resources, monitoring activity, and preparing to isolate threats quickly. These principles aren't theoretical. They should shape the way you build access controls, write policies, and respond to incidents. When you lead with zero trust thinking, you make your security posture more dynamic, more resilient, and far better aligned with how modern threats actually behave. When you're leading your organization's shift to zero trust, it's time to rethink traditional VPNs. Legacy VPNs operate on a flawed assumption. Once a user is connected, they're trusted. But in today's world of cloud apps, remote work, and third-party collaboration, that model simply doesn't hold up. That's where Zero Trust Network Access steps in. ZTNA gives you secure, policy-based access to specific applications and services, without exposing your internal network. Instead of trusting a connection, ZTNA continuously evaluates trust throughout the session. It validates who the user is, what device they're on, and the context they're operating in before access is granted. And even after that, it keeps monitoring for changes in risk. By limiting access to only what's necessary, ZTNA reduces the chance of lateral movement, which is how many breaches escalate. You'll find ZTNA already built into solutions like Microsoft Entra Private Access, Defender for Cloud Apps, Zscaler, and Palo Alto Prisma Access. Your role is to lead the transition away from broad, all-or-nothing VPNs and toward granular, session-aware access, the kind that embodies the zero-trust model and keeps your environment resilient, even when users are everywhere. In today's dynamic environments, your approach to trust can't be fixed or binary. That's where variable trust comes into play. Instead of making one-time access decisions, you now adjust trust continuously based on real-time signals. You look at things like whether the user is on a compliant device, logging in from a new or unusual location, or suddenly behaving in ways that don't match their normal patterns. With this insight, you can create adaptive access policies that respond intelligently, stepping up authentication requirements or restricting access when risk levels rise. Tools like Microsoft Entra ID protection and conditional access allow you to build this kind of dynamic trust model into your environment. Variable trust gives you the best of both worlds, strong security and smooth user experience. When everything looks normal, users move seamlessly. When something feels off, your defenses step in. As a leader, it's your job to build systems that adjust in real time, because static trust simply isn't safe anymore. Let's understand the Microsoft Zero Trust architecture as shown on the screen. To start, you need to secure identities, both human and non-human. Using Microsoft Entra ID and permissions management, you can enforce strong authentication like multi-factor authentication, MFA, to verify every access attempt. But verifying identities isn't enough. You also need to check the security of the devices users are using. Microsoft Endpoint Manager and Microsoft Defender for Endpoint will help ensure that only secure, compliant devices are granted access. Even if a user is legitimate, their device could be compromised, which is why device security is a core part of Zero Trust as well. Once you verify identities and devices, you enforce security policies through Microsoft Defender for Cloud and Compliance Manager. These tools help you continuously assess risk, enforce compliance, and optimize your security posture. Instead of granting access permanently, Zero Trust policies evaluate each request in real time, checking for risk factors before granting access. Using Microsoft Entra Conditional Access, you can limit access based on identity, device health, location, and behavior, ensuring that even authorized users only get the access they actually need. Your network also plays a key role in Zero Trust. You don't assume that just because someone is inside the network, they should be trusted. Instead, you use traffic filtering, segmentation, and Microsoft Entra Application Proxy to control access. This prevents unauthorized lateral movement inside your network, ensuring that even if a bad actor gets in, they can't go far. But you can't stop at access control. You need to assume breach and be ready for attacks. Microsoft Sentinel provides real-time threat intelligence, automated responses, and forensic analysis, helping you detect, respond, and recover from attacks faster. Continuous monitoring ensures that threats don't go unnoticed, and AI-powered security insights help you strengthen defenses before a breach happens. Of course, securing your data is critical. Microsoft Purview and Microsoft Defender for Office allow you to classify, label, and encrypt data, ensuring that only authorized users can access sensitive emails, documents, and structured data. This applies across all applications, whether SaaS, on-premises, or cloud-based. Using Microsoft Defender for Cloud apps, you can enforce adaptive access policies, restricting access based on risk levels and real-time security assessments. Your infrastructure, including serverless, containers, IaaS, PaaS, and internal sites, also needs protection. With Microsoft Defender for Cloud, you can enforce runtime security controls, ensuring that only trusted workloads are allowed to run. This prevents misconfigurations, unauthorized changes, and malicious access. By implementing Zero Trust, you ensure that security is embedded at every level, from identities and devices to applications, data, networks, and infrastructure. You don't trust blindly, you verify everything. Every access request is evaluated, every device is checked, and every action is monitored. Adopting Zero Trust doesn't happen overnight. It's a cultural shift. It touches identity, devices, data, networks, and applications. As a security leader, your job is to build a roadmap. Define your starting point, prioritize high-risk areas, and measure progress. You're not aiming for perfection. You're aiming for continuous improvement and for a security posture that moves as fast as your business does. So, what's your leadership takeaway? Zero trust is how you secure a boundaryless world. It gives you a framework to make smarter, more contextual decisions about who gets access to what and under what conditions. When you lead with zero trust principles, you're not just reducing risk, you're enabling secure innovation at scale.